Hey guys, how glad you guys came here, and Dashers here and Homer. Thank you for coming. Okay, you guys, it's okay, clap, it's fine. So I'm here in Cortland. Thank you so much. I'm here in Cortland County, still trying my best to move around the state. Why? Because it matters. Doing the entire FullSharpe, rocking and rolling, and trying to go to local places to support local businesses. And I'm very lucky. I have with me today someone else who cares tremendously about the local community, someone else who is also running, trying to make change, but running on a local level, running for the state senate, right? State senate, did I get it right? State senate, right? Absolutely. In District 52, man himself, Thomas Peter.
That's absolutely right. We run to support our communities and our individuals within the community. We want you to keep more of yours. We want you to have better choices in healthcare, which are not mandated by the state. The state mandates remove choices from our healthcare, but they also remove choices from what we can do as business owners in the community. Matt McIntyre, beside me here, was just talking about what he had to go through to get permission to operate a business in his community. And I think it's very important to show that it should not take so many steps. It should not take so much effort just to do standard business. I assume you're not incinerating trash in the community or spreading anything toxic around. I assume would you mind telling us what is it?
So what I do is I'm an asphalt maintenance company. We seal asphalt, crack repair potholes, striping.
Yep.
The materials that we use are actually green materials. They're environmentally safe, they're water-based. It's just the requirements that the state puts in place for you to make a decent living it's a little bit ridiculous, and it's an added cost that the government is the biggest barrier to entry for anybody with a local business.
Absolutely.
So,
can I ask you, now, when you have someone employed, you have to pay, right?
Yep.
And certain amounts are withheld from their check.
Yep.
But there's also added costs to the employer beyond.
Yeah, so it's an increase in your liability insurance. You also have to pay workers' comp insurance and unemployment insurance. You have to include in that. So on top of that, every quarter you've got to pay your payroll tax and then your sales tax if you have an end product that you were offering to your consumer. And that's not really factored into anything that the average person will figure as a cost.
So that makes it harder to actually pay your employees more.
Yep.
I'm sure if they were worth more and you had that money, you would pay them.
Yeah, especially when it comes to the trades. What we do is technically I would consider it a trade, because you can't just take anybody out there that can go and seal and stripe a driveway or a parking lot. It does take a little bit of something.
But hold on, you're also running for office too, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm running for 125th Assembly District.
Woo! Left, yes.
Again. This time we won't be going on the Republican line, though.
Local libertarians running yet again locally, trying to fix things. I love it. Excellent, excellent. Tell people how they can get a hold of you.
Right now, you can go on MatthewKMcIntyre.com. You can find me that way. We will be restarting the Matthew McIntyre Libertarian page.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go straight to my business's website at asphaltcowboycny.com. That's another way to get a hold of me.
There we go.
That's actually tied more to my phone and everything than anything else.
There we go. So please tell me one thing, if you could. Tell me what's one of your biggest issues you're going to be dealing with. Just one. I know there's probably a million.
Oh, God.
Give me one big one you're going to work on.
One big thing. So, believe it or not, actually, I just went and did a quote for a customer in Ithaca. And their driveway is shared with another house in the back.
Mm-hmm.
They don't own that driveway.
Mm-hmm.
Cornell does.
Ah, okay.
So the driveway goes down, and then they got a loop for their house, and then another driveway that goes off for the other house. Cornell owns it. The city and the town plow it, and they've destroyed that part. Cornell refuses to fix it. So these homeowners have to go and pay to get fixed.
Got it. So they have to fix Cornell's property.
Yes. So my biggest thing is, especially in the 125th district, most of the property is taken up by nonprofit. I say nonprofit colleges who sit with coffers of $9.5 to $15 million at any given time collecting interest.
Yes.
Now, what that does is it passes all that tax burden onto the people that live there. You got people from Tompkins County, you know. So my biggest thing is I'm going to push for colleges and education institutions, regardless if you say you're a for-profit or a non-for-profit, if you are not going to adhere to the business laws of being a nonprofit at the federal level and even at the state level, which means you shouldn't be retaining profits,
right,
regardless of coffers, you're going to pay a percentage on that to alleviate the tax burden on the people that have to go and pay more in taxes to alleviate the stress of the damage that's happening to their communities.
I love that. So one local taxpayers. That's awesome.
It sounds like those colleges are externalizing their overhead, the same way large corporations do, like pushing it on the taxpayer.
That's exactly what they're doing.
So, well, I mean, they're both often subsidized projects.
Well, considering Cornell owns, and I may be wrong, but last time I saw, Cornell owns roughly 60% of the land in Tompkins County.
And then they own land in Cortland too.
Yes, they do.
Wow. So Tom, you tell me what's your big issue? What's your big thing to work on?
What's our economy? I mean, New York State lost over 100,000 small businesses in the first 6 months of the pandemic situation.
Yes.
Small businesses typically employ 40% of workers. 40%. We need to remove the hurdles for barriers to become barriers to entry. A small business owner and the entrepreneur. We need to allow these shops to open back up, whether it's the old owner or a new owner, but we need to make sure it's happening. We need to make sure that we're removing those barriers as they go. It is far too difficult for someone to just step out and start a business. It shouldn't be that way. There are plenty of businesses and business models out there. There should be absolutely no concern for the state to have them operate.
I love that. So how do people get a hold of you?
Well, you can find me at tomfor52.com. That's Tom452. And you can email me directly, tom@tom452.com. I do like to consider myself the most accessible candidate for reasons, and I want you to be able to communicate with me.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. So, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm going to move my my thing here. Oh, sorry about that. Poking you around. I'm hitting people and beating people up here, not trying to. So, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate that we had more people here than I actually expected, which is awesome. Candidates here, which I love that we have here. That's amazing. So, what does it matter for me, being a gubernatorial candidate, caring about local people running? Why would I even do that? How many times do you see that happening? Why do I do that? Because while the top of the ticket is critical, it's important that we have the top of the ticket. The top of the ticket gets the most press. The top of the ticket gets the most, the most eyeballs. Of course, that raises the most money. Always, that's true. But the bottom of the ticket has the best chance of victory. They're the ones who are closest to the people, and not only the best chance of victory, but the best chance of having local impact. When we start getting local people to win, we build our entire franchise for the future. So what should top of ticket be doing? Well, collecting that big cash, obviously, getting that big press. Yeah, absolutely, all those things. And then sharing that with the down ticket, right? Getting that press and sharing it with the down ticket, supporting the down ticket so we can all grow and win. We have to make change in our state. We have to make change throughout this entire country. The way we do that, good top of the ticket, good bottom of the ticket, working together. That's what we have to do. The things you heard, both of them talk about, was the economy. They didn't say those words, but that's what they talked about. But if you look in most states right now, what are they talking about? COVID. COVID does matter. I want to be very clear. COVID absolutely matters. You will hear, though, that the constant politicians, my own governor, will often say that's the #1 thing on people's minds. It's not. It's on people's minds. It is. It's not number one. Number one is either somehow the education of their kids or the education of their youth, or the economy in some way, whether that's taxes or starting businesses or getting a job. That's what matters most to the vast majority of people in this state, and I would guess every other state too. Who's talking about that? These two guys did. They did. I'm talking about it. Libertarians aren't going Republican bad, Democrat bad, vote for me, or using masks or using vaccines or whatever the case may be as another reason to go, see, I'm better than the other. No, we're saying, how do we fix our state? How do we get yourself back in action? How do we get our kids educated? How do we get our kids into a school that we're not embarrassed by? Right? How do we actually go out to a workforce and grow our lives, grow our families, grow everything? One of the biggest ways you do that is by localization. Small business owners are the ones who move up and down the chain. Small business owners are the ones who give the people who are in trouble a chance. I was just at an event before this one, and the place, what was it called? Barb's, right? Is that right? Was it Barb's?
Barb's Soups on Cafe.
Barb's Soups on Cafe. I was just there, and I asked her a very important question. I said, "You ever hire felons?" She said, "Yeah, of course." She said, "A lot of people have been in jail before." Of course. Of course she has. You're in trouble, you make a mistake, you fall down. You think it's corporate that helps you out? Corporate doesn't help you out. Corporate weeds you out to ensure you never get ahead. It's the local small business that gives you that second chance so you don't go back into trouble. People you know in your life who either fell down in some way, addicts, maybe they went to jail, maybe they got in a bad relationship and had some problems, got a broken resume. Who's going to help them out? Corporate? No. The local entrepreneur does that. That's why you hear me constantly push entrepreneurship. You heard these two gentlemen push entrepreneurship. It's not just about money. It's about second chances. It's about people believing they can do something better. It's about people believing that they are worthy. You all know my story. My mother was an addict and a felon. And when she came out, I felt horrible for her because she couldn't get a job. She would lie on her forms all the time, say she wasn't a felon and hope she didn't get caught. And when she had a job, she was a hostage. She couldn't talk back to her boss or change anything. She got fired. There was no job for her out there. I couldn't stand it. So I started a business, trucking business. When I started that business, I started it and I made her 100% owner. I ran it. She was 100% owner. Why? Because if my mom's an owner, the 100% owner, nobody can fire her. She is no longer a hostage. Entrepreneurship can get people out of bad situations. It really can. And we should care. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for coming. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming. And guys, you all, thank you for watching. Thank you so much. If you want to clap, now would be a good time. Thank you, guys. Another event later on today.